Hey there friends, I'm Melanie and you're watching akaMommy, and today's video is going to be a recap of sorts of the KonMari process that I'm doing in my home, where I'm basically tidying, or to use an American word, decluttering our home. And in the series on YouTube, it has been titled Finding Joy. I will have that playlist listed for you down in the description box below this video, as well as in a card that'll pop up right over here. So if you are interested in hearing kind of my thoughts as we are now 6 weeks in, then stay tuned. Okay, so let me go ahead and just start off by telling you that I went into this process really determined to just hit the floor running and go with it. I was like, I'm gonna bust through this process so fast. It's just gonna be like, I'm gonna go through it faster than anybody ever has. Well, that didn't happen. Life kind of got in the way, but I am still going strong. I am still committed to the process. I am still loving the process, and I just wanted to share with you guys some of the things that I have been able to work through, as well as kind of my thoughts and feelings about the process in general. So the very first category that I tackled was clothing. I was really happy to finally have this done. I have been extremely happy with the progress since then, and just the change, the transformation that my closet has undergone has just been absolutely joy-sparking, and I cannot be happier with that. The next category that I tackled was books. Now, books was one that it was a little bit eye-opening for me, because I didn't expect I kind of was surprised with how many books that I owned. I didn't realize that it was as many as it was. But the process itself was not overly emotional for me. I know for a lot of people, books is a really difficult task to conquer, but I don't tend to find that I am super attached to my books. I don't even have a lot of books that are nostalgic in any way for me. For me, books are pretty much just information. I did hold on to several books, and the one thing that I really like about the process is that since that time, since going through all of my books, I have actually read 4 new books, which is kind of amazing. Considering it's been like, I don't know, 5 weeks maybe. I don't generally read that fast, but I will give you a little tip and tell you that the way that I have been enjoying these books and able to read them so much faster is that I have been listening to them on audiobook whenever I'm in my car, which I'm in my car quite a bit. I'm able to finish books pretty quickly. So I have now completed 4 new books just in the past probably 4 to 5 weeks, maybe even less than that, using this method. And so these are books that I already owned, but when I realized that I wasn't getting them read as fast as I wanted to, I thought, well, let me just go ahead and see if I can get it on audiobook. And so I did. I'm loving it, and I will definitely be continuing that trend. So the next category was paper. Now, this is a category that I was not super looking forward to, because I felt like it was going to be very overwhelming. But in reality, once I got everything laid out in front of me, it wasn't as bad as I thought that it was going to be. It was still a lot, but it wasn't as bad as I had expected it to be. So I worked through that category fairly quickly. That has been a category that I have noticed has made a tremendous difference in my life. I mean, it is just tremendous. I no longer have stacks of paper. You know, it's just, not only was I able to tidy what I had, declutter what I had, I was able to set up a system so that now things don't get piled up anymore. I'm not worried about that happening in the future, and that has been huge for me. Immediately after doing paper, I tackled our homeschool supplies. Now, this was a big job, but it was one that I was really looking forward to doing. Not really. I wasn't looking forward to the actual work of doing it, but I was really looking forward to having it done, because it was an area of our home that stressed me out to the max. And so I am really glad to have that finished as well. Then I moved on to office supplies, and this one was a pretty small category. There wasn't a ton to do because I had already tackled so much in my paper and in the homeschool supplies category. But again, I'm really happy to have it completed. It has been so much easier just to function in my tiny makeshift little office here in my bedroom. I'm really glad to have all of that finished as well. In the midst of all of this, I also completed our craft supplies. Now, I didn't have a lot of craft supplies because I don't tend to be a very crafty person. It's just not something that we do a whole lot. We have some art supplies, but I include all of that with our homeschool curriculum or our homeschool supplies. So our craft material was a pretty small job. I was able to knock it out pretty quickly, but definitely, again, I was so glad to have that area finally tidy and looking presentable. So the most recent category that I completed was what is considered general. And now what this included was CDs, DVDs, miscellaneous electronics, cords, remotes. I also went into pet supplies, and I did coins. Coins was a really interesting one. Make sure that you check out my video to see how much money we had sitting in our home. Oh my goodness, just in coins. It was pretty interesting. I don't know if that video will be up before this one, but I definitely encourage you to watch that video. So that is the most recent category that I tackled. And again, it's one that I was kind of dreading and almost mentally putting off, but now that it's finished, so glad, so glad that it is completed. I just cannot even begin to tell you the difference that it has made for me. So let me share with you really quickly kind of my thoughts and feelings about this process in general and how it's going for me. The one thing that I will say has surprised me more than anything else in this process is the emotional effects that I've had. And when I say emotional, I don't mean like I've been sad or nostalgic or anything of that nature. It actually has just been really revitalizing for me. And one thing that I've noticed is that now I have like literally no desire to shop. And I was not expecting that. That was an unexpected side effect of doing this process. I don't know why, but it never occurred to me that my habits moving forward would change. It totally makes sense, but it's not something that I gave a lot of thought to ahead of time. But I noticed within just a couple of weeks into this journey that I wasn't having the urge to go and shop anymore. And in fact, even when I would go to Walmart to buy groceries for our family, I wasn't finding myself wandering up and down the other aisles going, what else do I need for our house? That is one thing that I have asked so many times in the past, what else do I need? And when it comes right down to it, you just don't. You kind of wander up and down these aisles and you just buy, just to buy, or at least that was what I was doing. And I realized really quickly in this process or during this journey that I wasn't doing that anymore. And it was because I just didn't feel like I needed anything. So that was probably my favorite part of how this whole journey has gone for me so far. I've really enjoyed that. I also really enjoy being able to open up different closets in my home or different drawers in my home and actually see what is in there. Not all of the closets are complete at this point, but that's because you work through categories and not necessarily through a specific space at a time. But I am so encouraged by the difference that my home has already undergone, and I'm so looking forward to seeing where this journey takes me. I cannot even begin to imagine how amazing it's going to feel at the end of this. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you have found this video helpful in some way, motivating in some way. If you missed my most recent video, you can check that out right over here. If you are not a subscriber and you would like to be, then you can check that out right over here. It'll help you subscribe. In the meantime, I hope that you are all doing very, very well and that you're very blessed, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye guys.